Hi, everybody. It is February and we are doing a 21 card tarot spread for the month. I'm super excited. You guys loved it when I did the predictions for 2021 for the first 6 months at the beginning of the year. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this every month. And we need some help, all of us do, just to kind of see what to do with the energy for the month. So it's a relatively predictive reading, but it's also focusing on how we want to show up for the month. So here we are in February, and frankly, the message is relief. You know, there's relief in here. Even though we're in Mercury retrograde, which I actually quite like for this month because it's asking us to slow down and be super present. But the center of the reading, the Knight of Cups, and this is really a 22 card reading. It's 21 cards, but I cross it. This gives me the real deep part of the theme. The Knight of Cups crossed by the Five of Wands. And so the Knight of Cups is the Holy Grail. It's that, you know, we want to feel good. We want to trust our environment. We want to trust the world. We want to trust our leaders. We want to feel like we're on the path to discovering this grail. So when you see the Five of Wands, which is really about talking with people, sometimes arguing, negotiating, you know, we're really talking this through. We're moving the energy with people, through people. So there's a lot of activity, some of it very unexpected this month. As I said, we are in Mercury retrograde, so we have an opportunity to slow down and to become aware of everything that this month's requiring of us to be part of this beautiful evolution, as we're all one big giant story in motion. And then you have, of course, your individual experience as well, week by week and according to your sun sign, etc. So, and you have all those other videos to watch during the month. So in every one of these readings, I start with the four corners. I go across like this. I'll go like this. And I'll go up and down, and it'll depend on what's calling me. So I do read intuitively as well. I don't look at the cards individually as much as I look at them in groups. So I might group these together compared to these four. Yeah, so you might have a little hard time keeping up with me as I describe what I'm seeing. But at the end of the month, you can look back and go, "Oh, that was right. That was right." Okay, so in the four corners, we have three of the major cards. We have Temperance, the Fool, and the Chariot. And then we have the Architect's card up in the corner there. So we're building something. We have to be patient. We know that we're taking risks, and we're going to be victorious. And all of these cards together, these four corners of the month, are saying stuff is happening, even if we're not seeing it in front of our faces. There's a lot of activity going on behind the scenes, and we need to trust that we will be victorious, and this is even beyond the month, but we have to know that not everything is available to us. Like, we can't see everything that's going on behind the scenes. We have to trust that risks are being taken on our behalf. And we are always in negotiation. That's the other thing in the center, right? So we are seeing, right, so what has it got to do with this? Well, we're all working towards that grail moment, and we know that there's a lot of people involved, and there's a lot of, I would say, players on the board, right? So there's a lot of moving parts to this. What I love about this month as well is that these cards indicate a victory around strong leadership. Now that's globally. I know that I know the Americans just had an election, and I know that around the world, because of course, obviously, I think people from over 50 countries watch these videos. So no matter where you live right now, sovereignty doesn't necessarily have to mean leadership, meaning that a president or a prime minister or anything like that. It's within yourself. So there's almost like a sense of energetic restoration of your sovereignty. Like you're feeling like, oh, I can lead in my own life right now. Something happened inside of you. Because remember, macro and micro, as above, so below. And so we're looking at kind of like this whole big new story, especially with all we are in Aquarius, so we have all of that Aquarian energy. And I think in the beginning of the month, or I think there was like 6 planets in Aquarius. There's a lot going on around humanitarianism, around the the group and community, the unique quality of innovation, etc. So lots and lots of change is happening, and it's happening with us or without us, right? So if anything can happen, my friend Dr. Michael Lennox always says this, if anything can happen, it will. So this is also, fortunately, these are positive and pleasant surprises that we're looking at on this reading. And because again, it's all about building something new. It's not about controlling it. There's no heavy energy here. There's a lot of thought that's going into this, a lot of innovative thinking. So we may have lack of clarity in terms of where it's going to 100% land. And you see this kind of little section here. It says we'll still feel like we landed when in terms of our happiness, and we know that we are heading towards something really positive, but we aren't going to get all the details yet because they're still formulating. They're still formulating, and we're going to be disappointed as well. We're going to see that, oh my gosh, we think we got it. We didn't get it 100%. That's kind of like finding out that COVID is gone and all of a sudden it's back. Not to say that that's exactly what's happening, but this is a kind of like, we thought we had it, we don't 100% have it, and that's all part of this process. We have to remember that we're heading in the right direction. It's just there's going to be ups and there's going to be some downs in this month, but they're nowhere near as bad as they have been. This is much more about we are all in process of discovering change. Lots and lots of really great energy. So if you look at all the wands on this, on here too as well. So we've got these four cards close together. When the wands are close together, there's lots of activity. There's a sense of passion and movement, and again, because the victory is there, and you've got the Knight of Wands, which is always about the movement towards a goal, etc. Lots of good energy here, and actually discovering new things, which is really spectacular. Then we've got over here quite a few of the Pentacles and the Cups together. So, and the only thing that I always see that the Five of Swords is always the wrench that gets thrown into the mix to piss us off. But it does say that the concept of not getting 100% what we want. Certainly, we're not going to have big, giant miracles in the month of February, but we are definitely going to feel like we're heading in the right direction and moving out of and away from some of the more painful aspects that we brought with us from 2020 and the early part of 2021. But we still are not out of the woods. It's just our attitudes have changed. This is all about attitude. The pentacles that are here, which are the material aspect of the world that we are residing in, they're all about sovereignty, ambition, really seeing evidence of our hard work and realizing that, we've worked so hard, we may have choices to make, right? There's choices to make, but we're really in a place where yes, we're building something and we have to learn to experiment. So the thing I think what I get out of this when I look at these cards too is that we have to be very careful not to be too rigidly attached to a specific expectation that one thing's going to work and the other thing isn't. This is very experimental, but we're really happy about the results. And again, this is about learning. Nobody knows 100% what this is. This is the Eight of Pentacles is the card that relates to being the apprentice, right? So it's the idea that we're still learning how to do this. None of us know 1000% how this works. And so although I'm talking about the general, larger experience of the world, it still impacts us individually as well. So this could be about you, and it can also be about the environment, even your governments or your communities or whatever. These are the energies all of us are going to be impacted by. There's a real genuine sense of a return to spirituality here as well too. So the Star card is very the Aquarius, the Hierophant, which is, the papal card. It's interesting that the American president is a Catholic. That this in the medieval tarot where this was first, they were Catholic. But here it's really about the embodiment of your spirituality and having practical spirituality where you have a system that you are doing, that you are feeling, I'm feeling hopeful. This is a hopeful card, and the Star is it is the card of the Aquarius. It's, I will see things beyond what I know now, and really trusting that this is where we're heading as a community and as an individual. So when we go into the center here, if we look at this, for example, at the bottom here, some of what if we were to look at what's going on in the month of February in terms of what we would see in the news, some really good news from a foreign place is what this indicates, that we're going to go outside our comfort zone. We're going to find from somewhere else. This is really working together for the highest good. So I think I mentioned that actually in the 2021 6 months reading, where I said there'd be strange bedfellows. This is about communities working together that may not have been seen as possible to work together. So strange bedfellows, like allies that are formed that weren't there before or were questionable before. So that's and that's also within our own small world, right? It's about realizing that we don't have time for resentments anymore. Like this is about, what's in the highest good for all of us. Very little about working against something and much more about coming together. We do have the celebratory Three of Cups matching and dancing with the Nine of Pentacles. So, these two cards are also really nicely positioned. If we go up here in the same line, we have the King of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups. So we are really seeing a lot of positive movement this month. And energetically, we are feeling better. Definitely, we're seeing that there is a possibility for change. And I do think it really is all this Aquarian energy that brings us all kinds of stuff. And even though I know that Uranus is square to Saturn at different parts of the month, where there's a tension between how do we get structure around this and how do we innovate, right? The Great Awakener meets the karmic guy, give me some structure. And they went, no, I just want to explode. So yeah, there's some tension here, this is really what I think is the thinking card. It's the way we have to change our thinking a little bit. So the Five of Swords is always whenever I look for the swords to tell me, what are we bumping up against? I always see those cards to tell me that the content of the tension, and it really, I think this is, it's just not going fast enough. It's what we're saying. It's not going fast enough, but we have to keep remembering there's definitely going to be victory, even though it's not going fast enough. There's this too. So if I were to go as well, and I know it's really hard for me to show you how I do this, but I kind of see pictures and images that jump off of the cards. So, but when I do mention the cards, I'm asking for you to look at them specifically. So what I love, the Queen of Cups is facing the Knight of Cups. So if you look at these two cards together, so this is the even though it's the month of February, I always look at this Cancerian or these water signs. So we look at the Queen of Cups as being the nurturing mother figure in some way, who's looking at the Grail Knight, who's saying, okay, what is in the best for all of us? And they come together, they're looking together, they're working together. So I would say too that February we have a lot of conversation around wellness and healing. So I'm going to suggest that obviously we're going to be moving through a difficult experience because this card is also influencing the Queen of Cups, and so is this one. So these are the difficult. If I were to look at, are they difficult? No card is really difficult, but if I look at these three together looking inward, so I go the Seven of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, and then the Queen of Cups. So we haven't yet figured it out, or we haven't got everybody well. We know this, right? Because this is the Queen of Cups' job is, she wants to heal, she wants to nurture, she wants to help. So this is the burden of February as well, too. So even though there's so many good things happening under the surface of things as well, too, so we may not see them all up front, all these new opportunities and new developments that are happening behind the scenes, we definitely know that we're still tired and we're still dealing with the fact that we haven't got to that grail yet. We haven't got to the place of full safety, and when we know 100% we're at that sacred ground. We're still working towards that. So bottom line is, let me give you a kind of a synopsis for February. So I would say that February is requiring us to trust what we can't see. All right, that to trust that there's all kinds of negotiations going on behind the scenes, for us to really stay as positive as we can and trusting our higher power and making a practice of our spirituality. That's going to be really important, and getting ambitious about our spiritual our spiritual practice, knowing that we have crossed some kind of new threshold in 2021. We really have. There's a sense of hope, like hope and inspiration, even with turmoil, even with the fact that the burden is still there and it's not 100%, and we're still negotiating and arguing and doing all these things. The shift has started, like has really begun. So traveling is not possible really yet here. So this is, I always look for, can we go anywhere yet? No. So the traveling should be within you. And it's about also, whenever I see a group like, when I see the Page of Wands with the Six of Swords, that's always reminds me of a journey of the mind. We're moving out. I always see this as doing something new, because this always tells me something new and fabulous is coming, and it is there. So do things differently. If you go for a walk, don't go the same way around the block. If you are, sitting on the same couch every day, go sit on another one. Do like really small things that are innovative. Even if you're not innovating anything large, make small, obvious changes, and you'll start to notice that your energy is going to be a lot less burdensome with all of this. So victory, as I said, this is again some celebration. I do think too that there's going to be, I think this represents some form of I don't know that it's financial aid, but perhaps what this is in the latter part of the month, that maybe some businesses get to open or whatever. I'm not 100% sure what I'm meaning by this, but it does feel economic, a bit of an economic lift when I look at this as well too. So let's find out at the end of the month if how this was. But that's all I got on my 21 card reading for this February. I personally look at this, and when I first put out the cards, I was like, oh, I feel so relieved. Definitely we know this is still going on, but everything else we have to trust. We've set this in motion, we're going to see something quite positive in this month. If you ask for yourself, what's your grail? What's your highest good for you? And then, I always go have a conversation with your higher power, because it can be real. It really can. We just have to stay connected, conscious contact to our higher power, trust, and then whatever small actions or big actions that we need to take in order to create this world this healthy, healed, equitable world, we'll have opportunity to step up to that as well this month in February. All right, take care. I'll see you next time.